Over 520 days, on the lot, and an over $100,000 price for this Jeep Wrangler Rubicon. This is the kind of insanity you are seeing with these Jeep dealerships across the country. Over 520 days, and yet they have not budged much on the asking price for this overpriced Wrangler. Now, this dealership does give a $6,000 discount to bump it down to a little over $100,000. But that is just laughable. For starters, the final price with registration, taxes, and interest for those financing it will be well over $110,000. And so this little $6,000 discount makes little sense. But what makes even less sense is the fact that this car has been sitting for a year and a half yet. That does not seem to bother them. In fact, if you look at the main page for the listings of just the 2024 and 25 Wranglers, you have another 2024 model competing with this one. And this other 2024 model has a nearly $30,000 discount. Now it's been sitting for close to 450 days. I don't understand the logic of these dealerships where the car that has been sitting on their lot for fewer days gets the bigger discount. But it even gets more absurd in that regard. There's a 2025 Wrangler with a $15,000 discount right beside it. And this is competing with the 2024 Wranglers that can't sell. These dealerships are in a mess of a situation, and in a couple of months they will have these 2024 and 25 units competing with 2026 ones. And the sad thing is, these dealerships are always going to try to revert back to their greedy ways as soon as they can sell a few vehicles. They never learn from all these overpriced cars that sit on their lots for years. They still hold on to the hope that there are customers out there willing to overpay for all this overpriced junk. Now, despite all the stuff going on with Jeep and Stellantis, car prices are going up. This is driven mainly by GM and Toyota. We know Toyota is always in demand. This is despite them going from their reliable naturally aspirated engines to turbo ones on models like the Tacoma and 4Runner. But GM, on the other hand, is just simply pricing their cars according to what they know will sell. Unlike Jeep and Ram that are basically trying to respond to what they think prices should be, GM is a lot more proactive. Now, don't get me wrong, I think GM cars are overpriced, but compared to Ford and Jeep, they usually have better prices. Now, if you guys don't believe me, take a look at the website for this dealer that is in the same town as that Jeep dealer we were just looking at. Most of their vehicles are 26 models. They only have 36 current year units left, out of a total of 168. This is how it should be if you're a dealer trying to price your cars to sell. If you are not moving them, your prices are too high. GM understands that and reacts accordingly. When you look at their inventory, even for their trucks, it's all at manageable levels. Nothing is piling up. And yes, I know the MSRPs on them are high, but you see a lot of discounts. You see 0% financing for 36 months. And they don't have to do this. They still have 2 months to sell these cars to consumers. But like I've been saying, they are proactive when it comes to prices. Because it's not like Jeep and Ram can't match these prices, they absolutely could. But they only do it when it's too late. This is why when you look at sales and day supply, Jeep and Ram are in big trouble, but GM is doing just fine. Now, with General Motors, it becomes clear that inventory management is going to be a big factor when it comes to keeping prices high. The auto industry has basically been avoiding a full-on recession by all these discounts and low interest rates to counteract the higher base prices. On top of that, there's been a lot of leniencies from banks when it comes to approving car loans, though is further proven by all the people taking out 60 or 70-month loan terms, and this is continuing despite the repossession and delinquency crisis. Banks and automakers are desperately trying to get people to buy these overpriced cars, even if it means losing money in the short term. And for now, it's working. Don't take my word for it. Just look at this article stating that U.S. auto sales are expected to rise about 6% for the third quarter. As Americans continue to buy cars at a surprisingly strong pace despite tariffs and other uncertainties. It then continues with several of the largest automakers on Wednesday reported healthy U.S. sales gains for the July to September period. General Motors and Ford each said vehicle sales rose 8%, and Toyota reported a 14% increase. Cox Automotive expects U.S. new vehicle sales to be about 4 million units for July to September, compared with 3.9 million in the same period last year. And this is why auto prices are not coming down. Now, there are still many automakers who are struggling, so there are places you can negotiate, but many others are still getting sales. So the reality of the situation is that automakers are not really getting punished for their higher prices. And as a result, I don't see prices coming down anytime soon. And it's not as if people can truly afford these cars. It's more of people just being able to afford the payments, at least in the short run. But let me know what you guys think. And as always, if you enjoyed this, make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks for listening.